film a video today for this.
Hi everyone! So before we get into the video, yes, there's a setup of dolls behind us. This is for a My Story series on Flickr, which if you didn't know, it's kind of like the Why I Love series here on YouTube, but it's my Flickr version, which is like the original version where the idea stemmed from, and it's like the headers for my albums on Flickr, and we're doing one for like Krissy and Baby Dolls, that album. So if you want to read that, it'll already be up by the time this video is posted. I'll put it in the description because it's all about like my story of how I got into baby dolls and what they mean to me and things.
And while we're plugging in like only semi-related things, I want to give a shout out to the friend who gave me this Hogwarts shirt.
So you're probably wondering by the title of the video, Doll Polygamist? What? It's a joke. So it actually happened when Colleen was setting up this thumbnail.
I joked that Leroy was with both his wives from summer 2003 because Leroy did various periods of time, dated both Jasmine and Heidi.
So I joked then, well, I'm a doll polygamist because I always liked so many different things and I could never settle, and then I thought this would be a really cool video idea.
And Leroy's polygamy is actually your fault.
Yes.
Because you couldn't make up
That's the thing. So I guess what I wanted to talk about is how it's okay to like a lot of different things. It's okay to have your own unique way of collecting and your unique way of being yourself, whether it's with dolls or whatever it is. I think for me, I always punished myself for being the way I was. And one of the reasons I have a big collection with a lot of different dolls is because I have a lot of different interests. And if you've watched me on YouTube long enough or you followed me on Flickr long enough, then you would have the idea that I like a lot of things and I'm knowledgeable about a lot of things.
Yeah, and you can tell just by glimpsing at the top of the photo stream that we have a wide array of interests, because you see Bratz and American Girl and just all kinds of things mixed in, or even this photo. I started off getting just a few favorites that were related to the photo, but then I also grabbed a couple of background people like Giggles and Swing Barbie and this walking doll that just spoke to me while I was in the computer.
And it's kind of all under the same bracket. I love artsy craftsy things and I love dolls and I love animals, but within those brackets there's a wide variety. And I always felt bad for that. I always felt bad for not having one American Girl doll that was my favorite, that was consistently my favorite, that I only collected or only liked one type of doll. And part of why I felt so bad about myself is because Colleen was always the opposite of me. She always hyper focused on collecting one thing or being into one thing. She was a true fangirl, if you will. When she was into Harry Potter, it was all Harry Potter, go go go. It was the only thing you read for a while.
Yeah.
And with American Girl, it was Molly, and when she tried to collect other American Girls, it wasn't for her, and so she gave me her dolls. And I felt bad. I felt like there was something wrong with me, and we always had this joke, if I were to grow up and get married, I'd get divorced a bunch because I just I couldn't decide on what I liked. I couldn't stick to one thing. And I realized that that's not true.
That's not true at all, because you've always been into more or less the same things, just a variety, like you said, a variety.
I know who I am, and I know what I like, and I know what I don't like, but I don't think it's wrong to be experimental. I don't think it's wrong to like a variety of things, and it's okay if you only like one thing. I think it's good to have balance. When I was younger, I'll admit I had no focus, and there would be things like Mary-Kate and Ashley dolls, or my American Girl Josephina, or Happy Family dolls. There would be things that I really loved that gave me more joy, but I was just so prone to the power of suggestion that I would buy something really random like a Flavis doll or a random Barbie just on a whim. I mean, part of that was I have emotional shopping issues, but I didn't always get what I really wanted because I was so busy just trying the new thing, and that could be bad. But Colleen also missed out because she would be so hyper-focused and hyper-focused within that hyper-focus.
Yeah, I'm into Harry Potter toys, but at one point I was only into the Harry Potter toys from 2002 and earlier.
And with Kelly dolls, you were the same way. You didn't like the Kelly dolls.
Right, you're right. I forgot about that.
I remember that because I was mentioning Kelly in this post. And that's the thing, she missed out on things that she secretly liked because she didn't want to branch out. And I sometimes was a bit overkill with trying new things, so I missed out on what I really liked. And I think it's all about balance and knowing yourself. So for me, like, I have a huge collection, and I never want people to take away from these videos that, like, you need to have a big collection to be a real collector, to be happy, because honestly, like, needing to buy stuff all the time, and like constantly acquiring dolls is, number one, not realistic. Most people don't have the space, don't have the budget. Like, I'm not rich, and I don't have like tons and tons of limitless space. Like, I don't want to have dolls in my kitchen, you know? And it's also like not fulfilling if you constantly need to be buying something. There's a deeper problem there if like that's where you get all your happiness. And one of the biggest criticisms I always get is that I have too many dolls. People love to tell me this online. People love to shame me for it. And even in real life, when people hear from Colleen that we have like 3,000 dolls, it's like, oh my god, what do you do with all of them? How do you
Or when I said I was getting a hamster in addition to the other animals we had.
We're on the hamster, it's a long story. But, you know, people are very quick to like hear a number and say that you have too many, without knowing the circumstances, without knowing how long you've been collecting or whatever you're doing, without knowing the care. And the thing is, I'm the first person, if you are someone who's commented, I only have one doll, I'll say that's great, that's awesome. Like, you're still a collector. You don't need to have dolls, just have the mind of a doll collector. And I could be just as happy with 5 or 10 dolls. For me, it's just like, I like a lot of things. Right now, I have the space to have dolls. I'm just enjoying it, and if you guys watch my videos, you know I take care of my dolls. I love them, I make them things, I clean them. I do things with my old dolls all the time. I love writing things about them. I mean, my dolls are like my children, and I'm sure there are people who have way less dolls, who throw them around, who aren't grateful, who complain. And so that's what it all boils down to, like how you feel, how you treat things, the experience of those things, whatever it is, dolls, whatever it is in life, what it gives you. And other people can't define that. There is no right or wrong. I see people way too often saying that they have too many dolls, they need to pare down. It's a pressure. People pressure you to feel like you need to buy a lot of stuff or you can't have anything. It's like the polarizing ends of it. I get shamed for having a big collection, or I have people telling me that because I have a big collection, I need to go out and buy this. And then on the other end of it, there are people who feel like inferior because they compare themselves. I don't have enough dolls. And that's just not the way it is. There's a different number that's good for everyone, and if you get too carried away and like shaming yourself, either way, it's not healthy. And I found that just by accepting me for being myself and accepting my wide variety of interests, I'm a lot happier. I love researching different dolls and finding new things, and I go through like little mini phases. Like sometimes I'll be in like a mini phase for finding live dolls or ever after high dolls, but I'm still always interested in them and I'll always circle back to it. I just go through new like, you know, spurts of what I'm currently most interested in. And like having a lot of American Girls, I would have trouble picking 5 American Girls to keep because there's some I love sentimentally, there's some I love their books, there's some I just love their collections, there's some I just love my doll. Like, totally been feeling my Jess doll lately. And you know, like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a lot of interest or having one interest. And that's what I want you guys to take away from this video. That it's okay to be a doll polygamist, and it's okay to be a doll monogamist. And that there isn't one way of collecting or one way of doing anything in life that's going to work for everyone. And when people criticize you and try to get you to change, whether it's in real life or online, you shouldn't let that sway you, because at the end of the day, like, you're the one walking in your shoes, you're the one that knows your circumstances, you're the one that knows yourself the best. And I always kind of laugh it off when people are really critical and tell me I have too many dolls, because it's like, you're a stranger. I don't even know what you look like. You're leaving me a comment, and chances are you don't have any videos or any photos of yourself on your channel. And you expect me to take your words and change? When I've had people in my real life tell me, like, to my face, like people I know, family, that I need to like get rid of my dolls, it's not gonna happen. And like, you have to look at it from how ridiculous it is. That like, this is a stranger, and people are always gonna tell you what to do and who to be. And there's like things that aggravate me a lot more when people tell me, like, in real life, like how I should spend my money, how I should, like, you know, like when Dad was sick, people were always telling us, oh, leave your dad with your sister. And like, to me, that's a lot more offensive than doll stuff, when people nose into your private life and tell you who you should be and how you should treat people and la la la. So don't let like people forcing their way of collecting on you change you. find yourself. And that's what my channel is all about. And that's what every video and every post I make on Flickr, that's what it's about. Like, find your own way. Don't try to emulate me. Be you. And if there's things that like you see other people doing that you're interested in trying, go for it. And if you don't like it, it's not the end of the world. If you want to pare down your collection and it makes you happy, that's good. Like, everything in life is temporary. And like, I know I can't have $3,000 forever. I don't live in a fantasy land of delusion and like loads of dolls and limitless funds. But I'm just enjoying it while I can, and you know, moving with the ebbs and flows of life, and enjoying what I find and the laid back way I like to collect. And I think that that's really the most important thing. Enjoy the moment, appreciate what you have now, because having more dolls won't necessarily make you happy if you're not happy with the few you have. And having less dolls isn't necessarily going to make you happy if you're just going to buy them all back. It's a lot like in our conscious collecting video. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Was there anything you wanted to add?
No.
And until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.